Hey guys, good morning, Bessies. It's a happy Friday. And I am here, sitting in my car this morning, just did breakfast. To God be the glory. Thank you for the hands that prepared. And what am I doing? And I'm just sitting here this morning, thankful. Been a little teary-eyed this morning. Ain't no tears dropped, though. But welcome to Lovely J Podcast. I'm about to tell you about it. No tears have dropped, but I have been teary-eyed. I have my moments, y'all. I have my moments. And I have to give myself grace and say, girl, it's okay if it comes. It's okay. So every once in a while, my mind does, it goes thinking about my ex. And grief is so funny because I just heard a man say that grief, when I say grief is so funny though, let me clear that up because Lord knows you got to clear things up these days. When I say that, I mean it has a funny way of showing up when you're not even thinking about anything, you're not thinking about anybody, your day is going good, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, this feeling comes up. And for me, this is how I do. It starts with the front of my face. It just goes flush, and I feel the tears in my face. I don't know where tears come from, but I feel like they come from my jaws and just go upward and sprue out of my eyes, like coming from my heart. And it's funny, grief has a funny way of showing up just when you're thinking you're okay. Well, this morning, I done got teary-eyed about 3 times. Ain't nothing fail. But I've been there. I heard a guy say on TikTok, he said, grief is a place. What was it? Grief is, let me see if I still got it up here. I don't got it up. Grief is a place where love has no place to go. It was something similar to that. That don't sound like it's about right, but it's similar to that. What he was basically saying, grief is when love has no place to go. That's it. That's exactly what he said. Grief is when love has no place to go ahead and embrace it and nurture it so that you can get well. And I do embrace my grief because I've learned so much from grieving. I've learned that you don't have to be sad to be grieving. You don't have to be in tears to be grieving. Sometimes it's not even that the person is deceased. I have grieved alive, people who are alive. I've grieved friendships, businesses, and, just different things that have emotional weight on me. I have grieved family, family members that's not dead, but because they're so narcissistic or they're toxic, they're hard to be around. They make it hard to love them. All the crows just showed up. Welcome to the podcast. Y'all hear them out here? I gotta let this window up. They might try to fly through. I told y'all I'm in the car. But grief is a natural process in life. And I'm not trying to rush through my grief. I just know it happens. It comes up when I least expect. I could just be sitting here in the car and then all of a sudden, there it goes. My eyes will fill up. Now, my eyes not doing like they did when he first passed away. I mean, it was just balls and balls of tears. But I do find late at night or in the wee hours of the morning, I might wake up 3 a.m. and be crying. And I have to really console myself because at this point in time in life, there's really nobody I can go to but God, But I'm okay. And I know that you're going to be okay too on your journey. So let's just give ourselves a hug and we hugging this thing out because we know we're not alone. We know there are others out there that are just like us. We just haven't met each other. I still question myself. How can you cry for someone who did so much to you? And that's because I was bonded to the trauma. That toxic relationship was more normal to me than a normal looking relationship. Like toxic was my normal. So to me, that was love language. Yeah, that was love language to me. Because when I was coming up, that's all I saw. My biological parents fighting. I mean, they were bad at it too. They be trying to wreck cars, beating kids, and, didn't care nothing about the kids, really. They start fussing, and if my biological mom was driving, she tried to hit 18-wheeler trucks, try to kill all of us. And I remember one time just screaming so loud, "Don't say nothing back, Joe, don't say nothing back." Because my biological dad name is Joe, but we never called him Daddy. So we called him Big Joe. And I was saying, "Don't say nothing back, Joe, don't say nothing back." And I was ducking because she was driving the car right to the 18-wheelers. We was on the highway where a lot of 18-wheelers are. And she was going so fast. I don't know how fast she was going, but I remember she was going so fast around that curve. And them 18-wheelers were coming. And she yanked the car off and in front of it just in time. Right before a crash. Before we could crash, she moved back into her lane. Like she was going chicken head on with these big 18-wheelers playing with our lives. And to her, when she parked, she laughed about it. To me, I was traumatized. Now, this is normal. This is what a normal relationship looks like to me, to fuss and fight. And, I wasn't the only one brought up like that. He was too. So it was both our normals. And it was our normal. That's why we didn't do better. We didn't know to do better. I don't care how old you get. If somebody don't teach you how to do better, then you can't do better, because what you know is what's normal to you and what feels right to you, and it's what you will continue to do until you know better. I continue to, hang in those toxic relationships until I learn better. And now that I know better, I want to choose better and choose what's best for me. That includes showing up at family events. If I feel like I'm being ostracized or oppressed wherever I go, most likely I don't want to go, and I'm not going to go. At the age that I am now, I won't entertain your foolishness. Life too short. It's too precious. There's people out here who will love you. So I won't entertain the foolishness. And that's what people don't get about me. And because I don't agree with everything that others say, they want to say that it's mental that causes a person to be that way. Yeah, it is mental. You play with my mental long enough, and now that I want to stand up for it, now I'm the one that looks bad. Because I decide that, hey, I don't want to go there. I don't want to be around y'all. I saw what you did to me. I saw how you tried to get me locked up. I saw how you lied on me. I saw how you joined teams against me. And now all of a sudden, you want me to be where? No. And on top of that, gonna have the nerve to tell me you prayed somebody into heaven. You can't pray people into heaven. When your heart ain't right itself. When your heart is not right, how do you think God is hearing you? Okay? So, with this grief thing, I have to look at it and count it all joy. And I count it as a beautiful thing, because grief is a reminder that I'm still here, that I'm still human, and that I'm feeling. Most of all, that I'm feeling. Some people cannot feel. Some people will never shed a tear. They can't feel. Some people are closed off and do a good job at pretending like they are aware, or pretending like they are a good person. But reality is, some of these people do not care if you're alive or dead. And my reality is, if I'm crying, Excuse me, y'all. If I'm crying or I'm laughing, I'm feeling. If I'm up doing things, I'm feeling. Like this morning. No, let me tell y'all what I did all this week. Because I am trying to nurture myself back to health and have a healthy grieving process, because there is a such thing as a healthy grieving process. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying that, you're not going to have your moments where some days feel tougher than the others, but it is a healthy way to grieve. And I choose to do it that way. So I know the things that I need in life. I need air, which is oxygen. I need water so that I don't get dehydrated. I need my electrolytes because, I'm on the shot, and most of the time we don't really eat enough to put enough of anything in us. So we got to make do with what we can do. I need to make sure that I'm taking care of my hygienes, because, when someone's mental starts going down, that's one of the ways where you can tell that something is wrong. A person's hygiene goes off the record first. No brushing of the teeth, no taking of the bath. I don't know if y'all remember me saying, but was it last week? It may have been last week. I went a whole 8 days straight, no bath, no brushing of the teeth. I was just in my downtime moment. But I have this thing where I train myself, and you can train yourself to do whatever you want to do. But I train myself to let my emotions do what it got to do. But after the 14th day, take that control back. Gotta get up out of it. Gotta get back to life after that 14th day. And I chose to do like that because you do need that time to be a little crazy. Because the little crazy is what keeps you going. You need that time to realize that you are vulnerable. You have been hit with a life-changing event that's traumatic. So I allowed myself those 8 days. I came out of it in the 9th day, but I went 8 days, and I give myself 14 days to do and act whatever I got to act out. And how often do I do this 14-day thing? As often as I need to do it. As long as I get myself back up, get back to eating, get back to taking my baths and things, taking care of myself. That's what works for me. Those 14 days that I give myself are so that I can stabilize my mood. Whenever they put you into these mental hospitals, they give you, if you're really unstable, they give you 14 days, 10 to 14 days to get you stabilized, and then they put you back out on the street. Well, you can take care of yourself like that. Give yourself your days you need to go crazy and feel crazy. As long as you're not harming nobody, not doing no self-harm or out here harming nobody else, give yourself that time to be what it's going to be. If you need to scream, holler, if you need to junk the house up, if you need to find a hallway to duck down in and cry in the corner. My mind is so many times wanting to go in my hallway and just sit in that hallway and cry. Because you know why? We are taught that the hallways are safer than open spaces. When storms come, when tornadoes come, when things come to rip us apart and try to destroy us, we are taught to go in the hallway and duck down, tuck our head between our knees so that we don't get hit by the debris. And that's the first thing I wanted to do was tuck down in that hallway. But I didn't know who was going to get me up. So I was like, girl, no. We might try to do that type of therapy one day on ourselves, but not today. So it just so happened, though, I did end up having to try to get up off my knees and things. And that really woke me up, too. Because I got that air mattress and put in my bedroom. And, I didn't pump it up before trying to get up off the bed that morning. And that's when I had to get on my knees. And so that was an eye-opener to see that, yeah, you still can do these things, so you need to act like it. Love yourself back to life. Grief does not have to steal everything in your life. Grief really do not come to steal anything. Grief just comes to tell you that you loved somebody that much, that they're still on your mind. And you have to find now what part. It's a matter of prioritizing too. You have to find, where do they belong at now? Where do they belong now that they are deceased, or that the relationship is no longer working, that you have broken up? Because like I said, you grieve all types of things. You grieve your children growing up. It's just all, it's no one thing to grieve about. Death just happens to be the number one. No, I can't even say it's the number one thing, because people grieve all the time. It's just grief. It's grief. People grieve. But you have to choose now, where does that thing, where does that thing or person, where do you place them at now that they're gone? Where do you place them at? For me, like my ex, where do I place him at now? I don't want to forget him. I don't want to forget the times that we did have together, the good and the bad times, because I think the bad times made our good times better. And the good times helped us get through the bad times. Everything had its way of working. I don't want to act like these last 27 years did not exist, because they did. They did exist. He was very much a part of my life. But where do I place him now? And I'm not in a hurry to place him anywhere, and you shouldn't be either, because, it's got to be done when your emotions are healthy. You just got to know that if you believe in the Bible says, let the dead bury the dead. And that's a true saying, because if you stay focused on those who are not here, how do you show up for yourself and those that are here? And I'm blessed to have grandchildren that I get to be a part of their life. And so above all of this, I put them children first. I put myself first. I put God first. God is still alive. I put him, he's first over everything, and then everybody else comes after. I put my children, my grandchildren, my family, my relationships, like friendships and things like that. The few friends I do have, And then I have to move him now that he's no longer here. I have to take my time doing it. But I have to slowly wean him out of that process. It's not saying that I'm doing away with him, but it's saying that life has to go on. Life has to go on. There has to be a release from the earthly realm to whatever realm he's at now. I have to release that part slowly, so that I don't damage me during the process of grieving and releasing. Because I believe grief too is when we don't let go, or we do not accept what has happened. I know it's happened, but it's hard to accept. I'm still like, you really let this happen to you? I'm at that point right now. One night I found myself, I was like, how did you not see this happening to you? Why didn't you try to reach out for help? So accepting what has happened is really hard for me, because I never saw him like that before. I never saw him look helpless. He was always the one people went to do this and do that. He was always around somebody else. He never He never lived his life for himself. He lived his life through the eyes of others. And that's what really broke my heart. When we were together, I would cry because I would cry when he leave. And I did this a lot. Because if somebody said jump, he'd say ha 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 ha. And it was like he had no choice. It was like, I don't know what they had over on him. But I would see those days when he didn't want to go. But I don't know what they would say. And he mustered up the strength to go anyhow. I saw those days where he was deliberately being kept high and drunk. I saw that. And it broke my heart a many days. So my heart didn't just get broken when he passed. I been felt like he was gone. And just a shell of a person walking around. I had already been feeling that. And that's what still hurts. That's why it was hard for me to deal with the breakup. And I just shut down and packed down those emotions. Because I saw what was happening. I saw how the enticing was going. I saw the devil at work. On at the time was my man. And that hurt me. To see him go down like that. And I couldn't be by his side while he was going down. I had to leave him alone. Because once I found out about the wife thing, that changed everything for me. I went from, I don't even think I thought about anything. I didn't think about anything else after that. Him or me or the wife until he passed away. That's how bad that thing hurt me. I didn't think about none of that. But I've got to let this grief do what it's going to do and grow me how it's going to grow me. I'm not saying I won't think about him and won't cry some days, because he always has a special spot in my heart, because I saw firsthand what it's like to be tormented by demons. I saw that firsthand. I saw it. So many days I was like, why don't you just stay here with me today? Let's do something together. We never had date nights. And then when we did try to go out to the restaurant and eat, this one time I remember we would go to restaurants and eat, but as far as go in restaurants, we do something like McDonald's, Sonic. We do that kind of eating. But as far as go in a restaurant and sit down and eat, we tried that a couple of times. And it was a waste of money for him because he couldn't eat like that. He'd be rushing because he wanted to get back out there to the beer. Or if somebody was calling for him to come do this, come do that, he was ready to go do that. And that caused a problem between us. Our problem was those friends wouldn't leave him alone. They didn't want him with me, I don't think. I don't think they wanted him with me because they saw his potential to be better. And they saw that they was losing their influence over him. So they had to give him, they had to keep him diluted up. I'll just say it like that. Because that's the only way they could get him to do what they wanted and to stay away from me. In the end, God won on both sides. That's the way I see it. God won because he's no longer suffering. He's not in pain. And he doesn't have to worry about, nobody trying to trick him or dilute him up now. But that grief is still there. It's still fresh. It's new. And it just takes time to get used to him not being on this earth. That's the hard thing for me right there, is knowing that he's not on this earth, that that nobody's going to say, hey, are you going to see Rollo? I mean, everything becomes a part of your life. And you don't realize how much it's a part of your life until it's over. Could I have went and seen him as a friend? I could have, but I was still so weak. If I would have went and seen him, I'd been like, after a while, he'd been back up here. And we've been down that same rabbit hole. But yeah, just knowing that grief has its place, it has its timing. And if you're like me and it comes up here and there, just be okay. Just know that it's okay not to be okay, but be okay. Tell yourself that you're okay today. That it's okay to cry. Just don't stay there so long in that mood, in that feeling. Find something to do. I'm going to tell you right now, you have to snap yourself out of it. Nobody can do it for you. People can come around and it can help you get out of it. But if you're sitting at home just moping around all by yourself, you are the only one that can snap you out of it. And that means you may have to put your phone down and just get up and go do something. Just start doing stuff. I found too that whenever I do some of my cleaning ups, if I don't have a phone on, my concentration is better. And I start thinking better. And my mood improves and boosts when I don't have my phone on and I'm cleaning up. I'm talking about like playing music and things. Just have that peaceful, quiet time of nothing but the sound of normal living. Do things that are normal when you find yourself checking out. I checked out those 8 days. And I knew I was going to check out though. That was a voluntarily checkout that I did. Emotional checkout. I needed to get funky. I needed to get dirty so that I could be cleaned up. So whenever I did go clean, that a lot of that stuff was going to come off with me. It was going to come off as I was cleaning. And it did. So I tell you, you got to trick your brain. You got to trick your brain into believing that the breakdown has happened, even though it didn't. And it does work. And it's not really a trick. It's just you taking control of how your breakdown happens. It's okay to break down, but you take control of it so it doesn't turn psychotic. Yeah. All right, y'all. So I've talked enough, I believe, and I'm going to go back in the house. I'm sitting out here in the car. I have done this. I'm going to talk to y'all 3 more minutes. I have done this every day this week. Came outside early in the morning. I'm trying to change my routine up. Sat in this car. Took myself out for breakfast. Sat in this car and just enjoyed the mornings. And that's something that I hadn't been doing, enjoying the mornings. This morning I got up at 6 something. Came out and it was dark. It was dark. But I was up by 6:15. Getting ready to take grandchildren to school. And I enjoy that. That's normal. That's part of life. It's not functioning anxiety. It's not functioning depression. It's living life and being in the moment of smelling the dew outside. Knowing that it's dark outside. Feeling yourself touching the steering wheel. We've got to get back to feeling. That's what it is. When you've been hurt, we shut off and we stop feeling because it hurts. And that's like me. I've got to make a big decision between now and next weekend about what I want to do with a certain thing. Because I'm tired of being around people who don't like me. And I don't think I should be around people who don't like me. Because that's not healthy. If I spend, copious amounts of time around people who don't like me. Now, I could look at it like this as exposure therapy. Expose myself around them and so I can become stronger each time I go around them. Now if I look at it that way, yeah, that could be growth. But if I feel too weak, I don't know, because like I said on the podcast yesterday, I haven't loaded it, but I did say that I'm not in a fighting mood. I don't want to fight with nobody. Because if I open up, it's not a fight. It'll be war. the things that I've been through, it would be war. It wouldn't even be a regular fight. This would be war. Because I've seen what people have done to me. I've seen what if I don't get nothing else from him and our relationship that we had, you know what I did get? I saw how him not being able to speak up for himself to them people, how it destroyed him, how it demasculated him. I saw that. I always try to make him feel like a man, but I don't know. I don't know, because it was so many so-called men that I was, y'all, I know, hold up. I got to get this out. I was going to let it go, but I got to get this out. I saw him hang around so many men that was much younger than him. And here he was looking up to these younger men. And I know that a child should lead. I understand all that. But this kind of looking up was not healthy for him. And he just wanted to stay young. He wanted to stay around their age and act like them and started sagging like them. And I mean, I saw him change up every time he was around a different friend. He would become whatever he was to that friend. You know how miserable that gotta be? That every time somebody comes up, you gotta switch faces. That's gotta be hard. And that's different from each person gets a different you. That means you treat people accordingly to how they treat you. But when you actually change your personality up to start sounding and talking like these people you get around instead of being yourself, that's a whole different story. I just hate. There's so much about this that I hate that happened. I know if I get in a relationship, I will not be able to. The next man I'm with, I will hope that I don't be looking that hard to see those patterns that I recognized in him. I hope I don't see that. Because that was sad, and it hurt my heart to see him like that. Not knowing who he was for sure. He couldn't be all that to me because he didn't know who he really was. And perhaps that's why I stayed with him so long, because I felt so sorry for him, and I felt like he won't make it out here without me. I really did feel like that. And I wasn't trying, that wasn't an ego trip, that wasn't a big head trip, that was nothing but pure love for the brother. That's what that was. It was pure love for him. And excuse me. Throat got dry. But it was pure love for him, because I could see right through him, and I could see through the friends. And every time he left from here, I would be nervous, because I didn't know if he was going to make it back. If he started, if he got with the wrong people. Because it was sometimes, I told y'all, sometimes he always tried to hold himself together, but sometimes he couldn't. And he'd go right on back up to the room and knock out. And I just let him sleep. I became a shelter in place. I think my biggest thing now is just getting over how he was treated, and getting over how he treated people. It's a horrible combination. And I wish it was easier saying I don't remember any of this stuff, but all of a sudden a lot of memories came back that I had not remembered. I need to write some more out, because that helped. That helped a lot. I always see his eyes, like when I close my eyes or try to go to sleep, and I might imagine his face. It's his eyes that always come to me, and his eyes were always so empty. Empty as in they were just there. But I see him light up every once in a while. But to understand what I saw, you would have to be like definitely into psychiatry and mental health things and spiritual. Because I see that same spirit. That same spirit is still around here. And I've seen it on a few people that I know and that I am related to and close to. I've seen that same spirit where they don't have a true self or a true identity of who they really are outside of trying to fit in with others. I've seen it. And that's not good. When you don't have a clue to who you are, anybody can take advantage of you. They're going to make you who they want you to be. And even though you feel like it's not right, it's going to feel right to you mentally because you're finally being accepted. You're feeling like somebody's finally taking an interest in you. But really, they're trying to manage your life. Make you their servant. Make you their flunky so that they can become your God. I've seen this too many times. And that was just, every time I think about it, it's sickening. It's sickening to see these older men out here. But just, I can understand if they were, if the people they were looking up to were worth looking up to, but they're not even worth looking up to. Anybody that clearly tries to take your life or pay people to beat you up is not worth looking up to. Saw that man cry one time. I was so mad at him for crying over that. I was mad. I said, you ain't never even cried over me like that when I left. Oh, the guy told him that he won't dealing with him no more. And not to ever contact him again. It was like watching a man and a woman fuss, except for it was just two guys who called themselves with this friendship that's supposed to be so close, fussing back and forth as if they in the relationship. And I'm standing back looking like, ain't you gonna speak up for yourself? And instead, this dude come in the house, sit beside me, and he started crying. I said, are you really crying? You really crying? I knew then that guy had a hold on him. He had a hold on him. Strong hold. He couldn't do nothing without him. Couldn't go sleep without him calling. Couldn't wake up without him calling in the morning. I understand we have friends, but when you got a lady in your life, you at some point got to recognize, especially when the lady is really treating you good. Like, I was not treating him bad like that. You got a lady in your life that really care about you. Because I told y'all, only time we fuss and fight when other people get involved. But when it was just us, that wasn't like that. But when other people come around and they start edging him on, because they knew he was quick-tempered. They knew he was easy to influence into a fight or a fuss. They knew it. They knew how to get him started. And he even told me that. So once they get him started, he gets started on me. He jumped from them and then get started on me. Anyways, I'm finna get off of here. Because I ain't going down that negative, that I feel that going into a different direction. I ain't going there. It's Friday. It's Friday. I'm not going there. But y'all can walk in the house with me, though, if you want to. think my air is on. Letting this window up, getting up out this car. Been out here since 6 o'clock this morning. And we got to normalize shutting down things that don't represent who we want to be for that day. And I don't want to be fussy on this day. So, I had to shut that down. Now we're going to go in here. And we may work some. I have some products I need to work on that came in yesterday. I need to do a face of makeup. That's what I really need to do. Because I have different makeup brands that are in. Take a good bath and put on that Fenty. See how that go. Ooh, my knees. I gotta ice my knees, y'all. And I want to get a pedicure in. I said I was gonna do it this week. Okay. So we made it into the house. And I really think it's only... Let me make it down this hallway. I want some pinto beans. Home style cook. Alright. Made it to the bedroom. Y'all, who am I kidding? I'm finna lay back down. No, y'all hear my poop. Alright. I done laid down on this bed. Y'all go over and check out my TikTok. My account is Jamie the Advocate on TikTok. Go to my showcase and see what all I got. It's something keeps smelling like onions in my room. And it didn't start till yesterday. But I gotta go now because I'm back here with this fan. It's gonna be too loud on this podcast. Peace, love, happiness. Happy Friday. Have a great day.